Hello, and welcome to How to Build an Electronic Portfolio for grades 9 through 12. We'll begin first by telling students this is a Google Doc activity, and this is actually the content page that you are looking at, or if we put in front of a paper folder, which would be the index. What we've done is hyperlinked everything to the electronic file instead of placing it in a notebook. Okay, our first is to research colleges. I usually ask students to pick 3 to 5. What we've done is this is a great opportunity for teachers to begin introducing terminology. For example, what's the difference between a quarter hour and a semester hour? There's also Bachelor of Science versus Bachelor of Arts. Same degrees, different programs, okay? Another is looking at cost. Semesters, there's 2. Quarters can be 4 or 5. And then room and board is actually dorm and meals, okay? What I have students do, this is a semester university that this student is looking at, so they will look up the semester costs. They will look up the room and board, the dorm and meal cost for one semester, add them together and multiply by 2, and that will give you the annual cost. So this is a student's tuition for 1 year. You will take that 1 year tuition and multiply it by 4, so then you will have a total degree cost. If you look for the same amount of semester hours in this degree, though one is a Bachelor of Science and another is a Bachelor of Arts, you have a significant cost difference here. Okay. In addition, what you want to look at are what are the requirements for an SAT, reading, math, writing versus the ACT. You want to see what those universities are requiring as an average to apply. In addition, you also want to know, are those universities accepting AP credits? And you need students to go in depth with this. Some colleges, if you earn a 3, will give you 1 course credit. Some colleges, if you earn a 5 or a 6, will give you 6 credits, so now you've completed 2 courses. So you want students to look in depth on these AP credits. Next, what we have is a sample college application. And this sample college application is a basic application that is used for training purposes or teaching purposes. It is in a PDF format if you Google online, and it has everything that an electronic application will ask. And this is why this is a good practice, because students have everything in their electronic folder and they sit down to fill out their electronic applications when they're actually submitting for schools. You have all the information that is needed in one location, so students don't have to keep stopping and going. This sample application allows for instructors to cover a plethora of information and for students to become very knowledgeable with the terminology and the expectations and the priorities of what colleges are looking at, like cumulative PTA, your class ranking. What programs did you participate in? So and evaluations from teachers. You have on here where you have your mid-year report, which is your final report for colleges to make a decision before their decision. And you have your school reports, which is filled out by your guidance counselor. You also will have a an instructor recommendation, which is required is 3. You have to have 3 teachers complete this for you. So this is a good resource for students who are doing college searches. Once you begin and you start, you have to track your grades because your resume and your applications must have an updated GPA. So what you want to keep track of is semester 1 and semester 2. You want to know where your class rankings are, and you want to know what your GPAs are, and therefore you need to keep an updated copy of a transcript in this electronic folder, okay? Now, the information that was asked on your college application needs to be transformed into a resume. When you are asking teachers to assist you or recommend you, Some teachers may not know about you outside of class, and this is a good way for them to get to know you. I need to know what extracurricular activities my students are involved in, what leadership roles they've had. I do need to look at where they've earned honor roll awards, etc. And students need to maintain 3 references. Where these references are important is a teacher that is in the subject area of the degree program or the career program of your interest. You need a coach or a sponsor of a club activity, and you also need a boss or a supervisor or a favorite teacher if you haven't worked, okay? So this is an updated resume, and it is a continuous working item because every semester it needs to be updated. So sports and activities go on there as a year, and at the end of each year, your information needs to be transformed from present to past. On an autobiographical essay, what this essay does is it tells that university about you. You want this university to know, how did you come to this decision of the university? What are you bringing with you, and what do you have to offer? In addition, what a autobiographical needs to tell is the best life lesson you've ever learned, the best advice you've ever received, or a life-changing experience you've endured. Remember, you want to stand out, especially on an autobiographical. This is your time to tell your story, so make it a worthy story. Your letter of recommendation request, as I already went over with you, when you give me that form as a teacher to fill out for you, I want you to also attach your letter and your resume to this form. One, it helps me with the keywords, terms, and positions and roles that you've held at the school. And 2, it tells me what you're applying for and what your plan is. I need to know this information and how you're going to use this degree so that I can hit those points on your recommendation. You want your recommendation to match what you have presented and to include all your accomplishments and your goals. So make sure you provide this for your teachers. Now, if you happen to send your recommendation request in an email, you need to know the proper format for an email as well. The content of the letter itself will not change, but the format does. So make sure you use professional wording in an email. Remember, you and your teacher are not friends. This is a business relationship, and you want to maintain it and address it as such, okay? Scholarship application also has a general form. And if a student is applying for scholarships, which you can begin applying as early as 8th grade for scholarships, okay? You need to be able to fill this out. What I like about this form too is it opens up conversations between students and parents at home, as well as administrator. It attunes them and brings to light which students actually are serious about college, what their degree plans are, what their program plans are, and how they plan to use this information, okay? Make sure that you use this as a practice, because I am sure larger universities ask many more questions. This is at least an introduction to terminology for you, as well as a basic practice. Now, 9th, 10th, and 11th graders need to apply for at least 2 scholarships every year. In 12th grade, you need to go onto the school's websites and start applying for as many as you can qualify for. Make sure your writing is neat. Make sure that if they are using MLA double space Times Roman, that you do that, okay? If they're using AP and they want it aligned and not indented, make sure you do that. Make sure you follow that university's requirements. Therefore, your essay may change in accordance to what those scholarship requirements are. Some don't require Arial or Times Roman. Some want you to do something in handwriting so they can actually see what your writing ability and punctuation abilities are. So keep that in mind. You are following their rules and their policies, okay? So look for those scholarships though, beginning in 8th grade. SAT, there's a great little website that tells you all about what SAT, ACT, PSAT differences are. You want to be familiar with this. You want to know that PSAT test is significantly important in 11th grade, as it scholastically places you in very many cultural and ethnic scholarships across the board with peers that are in the same grade as yourself in 11th grade that are juniors, and it places you scholastically nationally. So make sure you're aware of what your opportunities are. FAFSA is what students applying for American universities must fill out. This is a form that is required for parents and students. And what I do is give this to students so they can create their accounts. And I ask parents not to put in their financial information, but this does require a parent to sign, and it does make parents very astute about what the information will be needed when their student does start applying for college. In addition, reading is not an option. If you're going to college, you have to know novels, you have to know the time settings, you have to know the characters, and you have to know the history of those authors. This is a list of 100 recommended novels for college successful students that was created by College Board over the years and is published with the Lexile scores next to them. I ask that 9th grade students begin highlighting this. Go through and highlight which ones you have read, so that way you know that this has been completed, and then keep going, okay? This helps you track. Any other financial aid support documents you need, scan them into your electronic portfolio. This is a cover letter to ask for references for summer employment requests. And last, I have a college inventory list. Students in 9th and 10th grade, know what you want your color pattern theme for college to be, please, and then start giving this to relatives and dear family friends so that they can start giving you meaningful gifts so that you can start compiling everything that you need to take to college with you so it does not become an overburdened expense. That's the last thing we want to do to our parents. So use this. Use this as a gift list. Give it to your friends and family members. If you already know where that item is sold, put that hyperlink in here for them so they don't have to look 2 or 3 times for it, okay? I hope you've enjoyed and have learned how to create a Google Doc college portfolio for yourself and students. Thank you.